In a quiet meadow near a wide river lived two sparrows, Nira and Sol. They had grown up together since they were tiny chicks. Their nest was hidden inside the hollow of an old willow tree, safe from wind and rain. Every morning they flew across the meadow, searching for seeds and singing softly to each other. Nira was quick and brave, while Sol was gentle and slow. Still, they shared a bond stronger than the tall trees that surrounded them. One autumn afternoon, a fierce wind swept through the meadow. As Sol tried to escape a hawk, he lost balance and crashed into a branch. He fell into the grass, shaking with pain. Nira rushed to him, her little heart pounding. She helped him back to the nest and tried to comfort him. Sol tried to hide his pain, but every movement hurt. Fly far. As the days passed, his wing grew stiff, and he could no longer. The nights grew colder, and Nira worried deeply for him. Food started to disappear as the season changed. Birds began flying south, where the air was warm and food was plenty. Nira knew Sol could not make such a long journey with his injured wing. If she left with the others, he would be alone in the freezing winter. If she stayed, she would face hunger and cold. But when she saw Sol struggling to lift his wing, her heart chose for her. She would stay with him whatever it cost. Nira worked hard to make the nest warmer. She searched for soft grass, cotton, and feathers lost by other birds. But most trees were bare, and the ground was frozen. There was nothing warm enough to protect Sol, so Nira began plucking small feathers from her own belly to line the nest. It hurt, and each pull stung her skin, but she did not cry. At night she curled around Sol, keeping him warm with her own thin body while she shivered silently. Every day she flew far to bring him berries from distant bushes. The cold wind cut through her exposed skin where feathers were missing, but she never returned empty-beaked. Sol slowly regained his strength, his body warming inside the nest lined with Nira's feathers. But Nira grew weaker. She fluffed her wings to hide the missing patches of feathers, but the cold nights were harsh. She always smiled when Sol looked at her, hoping he would not notice her suffering. One evening, as Nira flew back with berries, the sunset shone directly behind her. The golden light revealed her thin feathers, the bare places on her body, and the tired way she flew. Sol stared in shock. When she landed, he whispered, "Nira, what happened to you?" She froze for a moment, then forced a small smile. "It's nothing," she said softly. But Sol touched the nest lining and realized the truth. "These feathers? They're yours," he said, his voice trembling. Nira looked away and whispered, "You needed warmth more than I needed comfort." Sol felt tears fill his eyes. She had suffered quietly just to keep him alive. He wrapped his recovering wing around her, even though it still hurt. From that moment, Sol cared for Nira the way she had cared for him. He searched for food, stayed close to her, and kept her warm through the cold nights. Slowly, her feathers grew back, and her strength returned. When spring finally came, Nira and Sol flew high into the sky together. Their wings beat strongly, their hearts full of gratitude. The other birds who watched them had no idea what sacrifices had been made in silence. But Sol never forgot the winter when Nira gave up her own warmth to save him. And Nira never regretted it. Their love did not need to be announced or seen. It was enough that it was given with a pure and selfless heart.